Just hold up. Hey.
Hey, it's Pete.
Oh.
And Norm, I'll be in around the 30-minute mark.
For our Logan discussion.
Yeah, I had to drink and smoke like him last night.
Norm was hungover. Missed our recording time by 30 minutes.
Like 40, but what do you want?
But hey, this is Dream Warriors.
I'm here.
Episode 21.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Here we go.
Okay, it's Pete, and we're solo today. Well, so far, it's just about 9 o'clock. Norm was supposed to reach out to me while he was on his way here, or kind of like while he was getting up, and text me that he would be on his way. The agreed time was 9-ish. Kind of have a feeling that Norm had a rough night. Oh, and hold on, that might be him. And it's not. Sorry, phone is on vibrate, should be on mute. Yeah, so we were going to sit down and go over Logan. We kind of hyped this episode with our X-Men episode, I believe episode 19. Norm's X-Men episode and I was episode 19. Mark and I did an episode that was just like a spitball free-for-all, and let me tell you, holy crap, that was a lot of fun. He had a long day at work. He came over completely exhausted. We wolfed down some cheesesteaks, drank Ecto Cooler and vodka, and just kind of started riffing. Went into a couple good tangents, attacked Stanley again, and at this point, you just have to concede. You're not going to win the Stanley argument. You're not going to be a Stanley defender around me, and this is one of the in all reasons why I kind of reject a little bit of what the geek community and how they operate, and I believe it's somewhat high thuggery, a lot of groupthink, stuff that I completely reject. And I've touched on this before. I kind of glossed over my sentiments about that. Kind of bleeds over into watching TV shows, and why I'm not really forward on watching TV shows, why I'm not really aggressively trying to find a new TV show to watch. I kind of practice reading a book a day when I have a book a day to read. I'm constantly running out. But the cool thing is where I live in Philly, there's a place called the Book Corner. It's in the Art Museum area, maybe like half a mile from where I live. So it's a solid 10-minute walk. And they have 2 cats there too, which are like the coolest used bookstore cats you've ever seen. So so I'll go there. I'll fill up my book bag. They have hardbacks for $3, the oversized paperbacks for $2, and standard size paperbacks for $1. So I'll just go there. I'll fill up my book bag, and on top of that, I'm constantly having shipments from Amazon. I get a few Amazon shipments a week on books. And excuse me, I had to take a drink of my coffee from my United States President Donald Trump seal mug. That a friend of mine bought me this awesome surprise gift, and I love it. I'm a very sentimental person. Most of the things around me are sentimental. If you ever watch Bad Eats, the YouTube show, you'll get a couple glimpses of where I live. Also, if you follow me on Instagram at AKAPAD 13, you'll get like a good idea of how I live, and it really is all sentimental things That's why it's so eclectic, and I'm already losing myself. So anyway, so when I do have a book a day to read, I will try and go through a book a day. I'm really big on rereading books, reabsorbing material, and yeah, and just that's a general practice of mine. Another practice of mine is drinking coffee, kind of as soon as I wake up, and we're just at 9 o'clock p.m. a.m. and I'm doing my iced coffee with MCT oil with just a little bit of hazelnut cream to cancel out some of the oily aspects of the MCT oil. And yeah, that's kind of how I start my day. Caffeine jolt with some decent fats. Yeah, so Norm and I kind of had a loosey goosey 9-ish. To me, I define 9-ish as 9:15 and under, or 8:45 and up. So quarter of or 9 or quarter after, basically. I am all for the thinking, the belief, the idea that if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. Now, no one's perfect. That doesn't mean I'm never late. But at the same time, I try and, fulfill all my obligations throughout the week. I juggle a lot between my 9 to 5 and all my personal projects and endeavors. And I freelance like a mother effer in design and IT. So, and that's a lot of the work I really enjoy because of the types of interactions. Kind of like the structure of the relationships too, they're kind of structured my way. Excuse me here. That is me drinking also my proprietary all day drink blend called One Speed, and one speed is it'll keep you going. It kept me up until about 3:30 in the morning last night. I was up until 3:30, editing and re-editing Bad Eats. We kind of hit a stretch where episodes 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 5, 6, and 7 in particular, did not have as many quips, funny jokes as the other 4. And this is because our own format got formulaic, and we were kind of predicting our own punchlines, and it wasn't so spontaneous. And we really didn't know what that product was going to shape up like. So I just wanted to try and get some of the original cuts flavor, mostly episode 2 and 3 flavor, back into some of our later episodes. I believe with episodes 8 and 9 that the show has already shifted into something else, into a different type of editing format. And this is because Brian and I, who is a part of Black Slither Games, Google Black Slither Games, maybe I'll put like a little link to his stuff in the show notes, which we're very poor with here. One of Norm's other tasks is to go through our episodes and record show notes, and he's been doing that. He did episode 5, so we are 16 episodes behind. Yeah, great for us. A lot of work there, but yeah, and I was just up all night, cutting, recutting, just getting a little bit of that jumpy, quick joke flow that I believe is the signature of Bad Eats. And they're supposed to be short views, maybe 7 minutes max per episode. You're supposed to get done in real quick, so I kind of want to move through and do jump cuts, jump editing, which is blasphemous. You're not supposed to do that. You're also not supposed to use Comic Sans as a graphic designer, and I do that quite often. Actually, there's other fonts like bangers that are a little bit like Comic Sans that have a comic book feel. There's even the Sin City font, which I'm a fan of. Yeah, it's just funny how stupid ideas like that resonate. So, yeah, today was going to be the great big Wolverine discussion. Oh, hold up. Phone just went off. It lit up, and it's Norm. Norm says he will be over. He is leaving in 10 minutes. And okay, so he'll probably be here around 9:45 then. And yeah, I guess I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, and we'll just sit him down. So maybe we'll discuss a couple other things, like I don't know, all the great reasons why you tune in to pick my brain, to pick Mark's brain, Heather's brain, special guest Sean's brain, and Norm's brain. To know the important deep geek knowledge and love that we have for everything dork, these things, these ideas that I remember. I mean, oh my god, like in high school, I would be so nervous to tell anybody that I like comic books, that I read comic books. I remember 1989. My parents and my sister. I'm not 100% Heather. My sister was with us. We'll have her clarify. But we went up to IKEA, and at that point, the closest IKEA was right at New York City, like right outside. And I think my father had one of his work trucks, because I remember sitting in the back with maybe like no seat. I think I sat on a bucket, or we might have had our Astro van. I got clarified this. I got to talk to my parents. And so, so we drove up to IKEA and found this bed that was like, it was like part desk, work desk, bed, and closet. And it had like a little area in the back that if it was up against the wall, it could be used for storage. So this is 89. So we got that, two giant tall shelves, and this display case. And like that was my room. So my room was a desk where I was learning and teaching myself how to draw, having Rob Liefeld's X-Force. That was the one that really stood out. Maybe McFarlane's Spider-Man 6 or 7. There was a Wolverine Wendigo issue. And, copying that stuff for hours was really, that was me, like, younger. And I had, like, a museum. At that point, I had every turtle, every TMNT Ninja Turtle Playmates in the package. I kept everything in the package because I was obsessed with reading Tomart's price guide. That became a Bible of mine. And Tomar also had like this really cool, and it's in the bookshelf in back of me, this hardback archive of mint on card action figures. And some of the pricing even then was like extraordinary. So I got like bit by that. I was really into collecting, preserving, and later sold so much of that stuff for like the pricing. I couldn't believe it. Turtles being a big example. The Kenner Dark Knight collection, Batman figures being a huge example too. Didn't sell that as a lot, broke those off individually. Really, really crazy pricing. And and I had the Dark Knight going from the 89 Keaton movie to 60s Adam West. And I was in the habit of hitting flea markets and friends' parents and making trades. And, I started to collect a collection of the 1960 Adam West Arn. And all this was inspired by a movie scrapbook that they kind of, I think, sold or might given out at the premiere of the 1989 Batman movie. And the last few pages of this, there was two things that stood out. They had some production artwork that blew my mind. It was like that was the first time I realized that people would draw things and it would end up in the movie, pre-visualization. And that's something that the culture is so familiar with, so inundated with right now, and and it's just something you take for granted. You kind of forget that there was a time, or there was a time where that type of information wasn't documented, wasn't really archived, and rarely seen. And this is one of the reasons why the Blade Runner sketchbook, the art of Blade Runner, I believe is like solid price for that would be $300. probably goes up to about 325, 350 at times based on condition. And you had a couple books like that also from the Star Wars movies. And like that was kind of it. There was a Tron one. The Tron one's lackluster. Yeah, I believe you can get that for about $20 though. And you can also with the Star Wars ones. Yeah, so I was just kind of like this really weird kid in my view that also liked sports, liked to play, loved to compete, still loved competing, and drawing comics, curating, memorizing endless collectible facts, nose deep in Beckett magazine, making trades with friends' parents because my friends' parents would have stuff. Acquiring, accumulating, and yeah, that was good. Like 1989 is a year that really stands out for me because that was like to me the birth of the culture, the birth of what led into the 90s merchandising boom, where even I bring it up a lot, I reference it all the time, but like even movies like Armageddon had McDonald's merchandise, which it's a killer poster, airbrush poster. You can get it on eBay for about $20. I recommend buying that. Just buy them all. Everyone buy them all and just drive up the price because the artwork alone for that poster should be way higher. Yeah, so like every single movie, Waterworld, Demolition Man, the list goes on. And then you had your like real merchandise movies, Dick Tracy, Batman Returns. Dick Tracy, hugely underrated. There was a time. I'm just going all over the place here. I am not reading off of notes. I've been wanting to do a solo series for for quite some or solo episode for quite some time. So this is it. So let me soak it up and let me get good at it. This might be the end game for Dream Warriors, which is contradictory to the title of the show. I know. But yeah, no. And you had Dick Tracy. And you kind of had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dick Tracy. I always put Flash Gordon up there because I was very familiar with those comic strips. Because like I said, I was a geek, and I believe I bought a couple hardbacks for real cheap from one of the local New Jersey comic shops. Might have been Cosmic Comics, I recall, or Comic Zone. No, I'm sorry, it was Comic Zone because I remember their price tags. And you had the Crow, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Trouble saying that. Dick Tracy, 89 Batman, and then the Richard Donner first Superman movie, which is still the best. And like those were your comic book movies. Those were like, in my view, the top of the top that not only were great movies, but they emulated the spirit and captured a lot of what the essence was. And then at that point, it kind of went into like the mid 90s on really weird kind of like dark period of figuring things out, which led to 2000 X-Men. So just off the top of my head, we talked about it. We talked about a couple of them in the 97 episode that Heather and I did a couple episodes back. But you kind of had Steel, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, the Phantom, pulp characters like the Phantom, the Shadow with Alec Baldwin, Billy Zane in the Phantom from Titanic fame. And it was kind of like a trial period. The generation had to come up to analyze those movies and then maybe understand what the faults were, and couldn't figure out how to make them cool, even though they were marketed as cool. But all of this was blowback from the 89 Michael Keaton Dark Knight movie, directed by Tim Burton, Batman, with Jack Nicholson, who is still the best Joker. I don't care what anyone says. You can always argue which is the best Joker, but the Jack Nicholson Joker is exactly what Jared Leto describes himself as in the cutscene from Suicide Squad, which is, I am a idea. The Joker is an idea. And a violent career gangster enabled by a chemical bath to embrace who he truly is on the inside, which is a sociopathic killer with enough variable like X factor tosses out there to even throw off like a intellect like Batman is really defined by the Jack Nicholson Joker. And speaking of Batman's intellect, it is, I guess, if I was to write a platform, like a political platform, which I'm for anyone to do in their real life. Like I ask people all the time what their platform is, and they don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But these are things I do on my own, where I'm constantly self-analyzing myself, trying to improve what my thoughts are, and to kind of grow and to just identify things I have to work on. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I love my friends and I spend so much time with them. And yeah, also giving myself plenty of alone time is because this stuff is cross-examined through my friends, and some of them are not even knowing, they're unwilling or unknowing participants in my own psychoanalysis. So there you go. There's a little Peter just got deep there. It must be this MCT oil in this Donald Trump mug. So if I were to write a political platform, or a platform on my geek beliefs and my positions, it would definitely be that everything started in '89 and it got reignited in 2000 for the X-Men movies. With the X-Men movies, X-Men movie kind of Blade was the lead into X-Men, the black leather period, or the leather period for superheroes. But it took a generation for producers and Hollywood to catch up to exactly what the comic book movie had to grow into. And look, you can say what you want about Batman versus Superman, but compared to Billy Zane's The Phantom or Alec Baldwin's The Shadow, which both have really good scores and set designs and action set pieces, at the end of the day, Batman versus Superman is a million times more watchable. So, another part, a piece of my geek platform. I think this is going to be maybe I should make this into a solo episode. I should just write this down, what my geek platform is, because I think we all should have one. Like solidifying our beliefs and stating those beliefs, and then having intelligent back and forth conversations with people who disagree or agree. There's nothing like surrounding yourself with people that agree with every word that you say. I highly recommend it. And I'm joking there. But it would be that people like Michael Bay, Zack Snyder, and poor Brett Ratner, who brought Catfish into the mainstream. He helped culturalize that word. Really kind of sad that those guys get knocked, but they are they're the premier filmmakers today. If you just go by money, the people purchase their product, and there is no trick that they're doing to get people to do that. Their product resonates because it is something people want, despite what the geek community and their high horse mentality likes to say. Not that it drives me crazy, because you can't have that type of vested interest in movies and comic books and TV shows. Yeah, and then just on the side note, at this point too, growing up, it was all the media was DC Comics. Yeah, DC dominated movies, they dominated television and animation. Marvel's 90 X-Men series is having a resurgence right now. There's a lot of people coming out just doing all kinds of cool things about that show, and rightfully. But Marvel also had Spider-Man, which was equally great, and they had one-offs that were syndicated, not through Fox, but syndicated. Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Silver Surfer, I think, was the end of that run, with them going belly under and only getting a few episodes out of Silver Surfer. And I was a busboy. Not a busboy. I was a line chef at this place called Prospectors. worked at the buffet getting food out for some of the craziest breakfast rushes imaginable, and brunch too. But yeah, I worked at the buffet, and me and one of the busboys used to like skip out to watch Silver Surfer on this one TV in this back room at this place called Prospectors in Blackwood, New Jersey, just to see that. And then it wasn't years later that I saw the rest of the episodes, or saw them in their completion through bootleg. And yeah, that was the time where I bought bootleg stuff. Not purchasing bootleg anything is another part of my geek platform. I'm going. Sorry, there took another step. I'm going to have fun just listening to this on my own. So all right, so we're hitting the 25 mark. I am rambling and babbling and just talking about myself, and kind of just waiting for Norm. But I think this is a wonderful exercise, because this is just something that's been on the back of my head, and I'll say a little fearful doing this on my own, just not knowing if I could maintain some level of a flow. And when you're doing this, if you ever sit down, willing to put yourself out there and podcast, like it takes time. You have to learn it. You have to kind of get your thoughts and your mouth they have to be congruent. And you kind of have to start thinking a different way. You have to even start, be cognizant on how you move your mouth. And trust me, moving my mouth is something I do way too much, especially on Tuesday nights. But anyway, moving on. So Logan, holy crap! I'm not really sure what to say about this movie. I saw it yesterday with a buddy of mine, John. We go back to the fourth grade. He school wise and life wise, he probably my oldest friend. I tried to get him to do this with me a couple weeks ago before I went on my Boston trip, and him and I have such a unique, and it sounds a little corny, but delicate friendship at the same time. And when we hang out, it really is part reminiscing. I mean, we relived the late '90s. The two of us spending time together, it's like we're old lovers, just trying to. But then we're so much into the new stuff and excuse me, like self-improvement. He goes to the gym with me regularly. Trimmed down his weight. He was kind of out of control when him and I really started to reconnect, and he is just I can't say, he does listen, but I'm so proud of him. And we don't do the gym as much as we used to, but he stays on top of it, and I can tell. I know that much about the human body, that I can tell through people's clothing how much they weigh. And if they're improving themselves, that's how much. Anyway, but no. And so, yeah, he came over here. We sat down to record, and just took two different seats on the couch and one of my love seats, and just wanted to, do a little pre-conversation. And casually, as I like to do. I like to keep everything casual. And that was it. We never sat down to record that night. We just continue to talk and show each other things, and it really is. It's us hanging out is so much self improvement, self help, because we kind of challenge each other, and throughout the week we really push each other in text messaging. If you don't believe text messaging can be used for self improvement, I'm not really sure you're using it right, because we're pretty harsh with one another on views and positions and predicting what might happen on everything from we both love the NFL, but NFL, sports in general, movies coming out, politics. We're both right wingers. That's right, complete racist, gun toting, deer killing mother effers. I guess right now with the current tone, you have to believe that all Republicans are in cahoots with Russia to, I'm not sure to do what exactly. I'm not sure what that end game is or what the exact accusations are, but but as you can tell too, I'm getting something in my throat. But yeah, so we saw Wolverine yesterday. Great time. He took a exam earlier that day. Didn't do what he wanted to. He works for a major Philadelphia university, so he gets free classes, and he does the right thing. He takes full advantage of those free classes, and it's kind of like getting free school while providing value to the school's network, because he's a network guy. I'm not sure if he's an administrator or if he's level 2 support. I'm not really sure, but yeah. And then he kind of had like a bad morning. Going into Wolverine, I kind of had a Wolverine workout, which really kind of, I think I didn't eat from the previous day at 2 o'clock, like 1:30, 2 o'clock. So Friday, 1:30, 2 o'clock. Essentially slept all night Friday, woke up super early Saturday, texted a female that I was supposed to kind of see Friday, and that didn't go very well, but I told her I was, going to crash out for a little. I had no idea. I was basically going to sleep from like 10 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and but my body needed it. Just felt beat up from the week. Beat up in a good way. I have no problem sleeping in. Sorry, take another sip there. I say sleep in as much as you can. But feel like you earn it. Sleeping in for the sake of sleeping in is just, I think it's harmful. I think it sets bad habits. I know I'm a little extreme. I'm probably a lot old fashioned on a lot of ways that I view things. But I believe if you have children, and I know this because I've been through this. Not that I have kids, but I've been around plenty of women who had kids, some of them for years. And I do have a thing that if you wake up after your children, you may be doing something wrong. I think you're setting a bad example, letting your kids wake you up. And I'll just leave that there. But yeah, so John kind of had like a really, he's also Anzio, I think 14, Anzio 15, ANZIO 14 or 15 on Instagram. He's also an amazing photographer. Doesn't do enough of it, in my opinion. But yeah, everyone has their hobbies, right? But there's no reason hobbies can't make you a lot of money. So we kind of threw together like an impromptu flow to that day leading into Logan. So he picks me up and we're hyped. He's just looking better, talking better based on text messages. Not that I know how he was looking in text messages, but he was just down. So we got burgers. Norm is here. Let me just pause. I guess we'll pick this up when Norm's here. Okay, and I'm back with a guest.
Howdy.
I'm here with Norm.
Yeah, I finally woke up.
10:09 a.m.
Hey, I was here by 9:40. We said 9-ish. I was in the ballpark.
Yeah, it's we define what ish means though. Right?
Yeah,
ish is either 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after.
Maybe in your book, that's like a couple versus a dozen. It's all the same.
No, a couple is 3.
All right, see, to me, a couple is 2 because it's a couple. A few would be 3.
Yeah, right. A couple is 2, right?
Yeah.
A couple is 2, right? So it's not nothing like a dozen.
Shut up.
Even if it was
mind your business.
Even if it was 2 or 3. So who'd you see Logan with?
I went with Kearns.
You went with Kearns. What did Kearns think?
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it?
Nah.
What did he have to say about it?
We didn't really talk about it too much because
what happened?
he ran into the bathroom after the movie. I ran out to my car to grab a smoke, and then by the time he came out of the bathroom, I was doing the pee dance because it hit me because of the cold air. So I was like, I'll be right back. And then he just
wait,
left.
hold up. Cold air makes you pee?
Yeah, you never walked outside and got that blast of cold air like, oh, I gotta pee.
No, I don't think that has not happened in modern memory for me. I'm not saying it's not ever happened.
I guess it's a reaction of being out in the cold for work all the time. That cold air hits and it's, oh, nope, gotta pee.
And just for the record, Norm is drinking. Is that your second Red Bull already?
Yeah, second Red Bull. And I got a beer sitting waiting for me.
Two Red Bulls and a beer. Did you eat any breakfast when you
This
woke
is
up?
my breakfast.
This is your breakfast.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah, I'm drinking my One Speed proprietary all-day drink blend.
That's just liquid crystal meth.
And iced coffee with MCT oil. Yeah, very, very different.
You sure you want to say that oil on air?
MCT oil. It's coconut. It's coconut oil spun through a centrifuge, and they extract all the real properties out of it.
A little hemp in your coffee?
Yeah, nothing. This is out of my Donald Trump mug.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Right there. What's your political stance? Are you for Trump or against Trump?
I'm against all of them.
all. See, you know what? That's more libertarian.
Yeah, I mean,
That's libertarian. You were still leaning Republican if you were libertarian.
yeah, I don't think I would.
Because you're for small government. If you're against government, you're for small government.
They're all crooked. I don't mind big government. I just don't like the people that are in there. It's all a money game, and I patted your back, so you pat my ass, and we're gonna get through this.
Well,
and...
do you know any do you know why money needs to flow into Washington though? Do you know like lobbyists and things like that? Do you know
I mean, I have basic ideas. I mean, it does make the world go round.
Well, most people have comic book nefarious villain ideas on why that's in place. But just to give you a broad stroke, and then let's talk about this, and then we'll jump into Wolverine. We'll get back to Norm's pee dance.
I have a political science class happening, folks.
Yeah, is that just imagine you're Joe Blow politician sitting in Washington. You have people that you represent, sometimes a world away.
Right.
You can be in Washington, and these guys could be Kentucky, Missouri, California, wherever. Okay. If you're not getting money and donations in from groups, okay, let's just say we want clean air.
Right.
And you're getting money in for that. You know that people want clean air. Okay?
Makes sense.
And that's why money flows into Washington. Because it tells the politicians what people want. So the people form groups, they collect money, and they send it to Washington. It's one of the only ways to know what people really want. Now, could there be other could there be bad things with that? Definitely. Should that be should it be limited and a level of oversight to it? Definitely. Should things like super PACs exist?
Right.
Those are different conversations for different times. But if the general idea of why money needs to flow into Washington, people don't even capture that idea.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, tell me about the pee dance.
Yeah, it's a little shake to the left, a shake to the right, a hop, pop, pop, and a skip there.
And so
grab your front.
How do you guys not discuss the movie though a little bit?
It's rare that we do, in all honesty.
Really?
Yeah.
He's such a weirdo.
He's
such a weird
peel out.
Well, so
9 out of 10, we actually see the movie later at night, and one of us has been nodding off throughout anyway. So it's I'm going home. I don't even want to talk about what I didn't see because I slept through half of the damn thing.
So what was your takeaway from Logan?
It was all right. It's pretty good. I mean, there are parts that I loved. There are parts that I was just really.
So what parts were you kind of rolling your eyes? What?
Well, I don't understand why in every Wolverine/Logan movie, the family that takes him in his hour of need always gets slaughtered. Yeah. That's the same in all 3 of the movies.
Yeah, he says that in and he's also always with a young female.
Is he?
Well, he was with a young female going back to the comic book days, which was Kitty Pryde.
Well, yeah.
Kitty Pryde, Jubilee. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the movie it was Rogue. In the cartoon series it was Jubilee.
Right.
Yeah, and in both movies, right? X-Men and X-Men 2 was both Rogue. He was like kind of
to an extent. Rogue doesn't really. Yeah.
He was like Rogue's mentor. So like this is X-23, who was never really connected to Logan. Like in her early days, when it comes to NYX, that's the comic book that she first appeared in.
Okay.
NYX was Josh Middleton, I recall the guy's name. He worked for a company called CrossGen Comics, which was out of Florida. CrossGen closed the shop. Marvel raids them, gets some fantastic talent. Josh Middleton was one of them. And he does a New York mutant rave comic book called NYX.
Right.
Okay. X-23 premiered in issue 3 of that 6-issue miniseries. Okay, and now, but she was never paired with Wolverine. But it just when it comes to like Wolverine and mass media, him being paired with a female,
that totally
part
works.
Of like that the introduction to Wolverine.
I just don't get why they always kill the family that helps them.
Well, he tells you that in every movie.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there, but he still hangs out and gets them killed.
No, he tells you that everyone that does
gets
good
close
for him
to him
dies. Yeah, like it's like if you didn't think that by now.
No, I did, and that was my whole like. Well, maybe this time they're gonna change it. Wolverine's gonna save these. No, because
you already have people harassing the family in this one.
Well, I thought he was going to make right since he's like on his last leg anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to save these people for the old people that gave him the motorcycle and the jacket and other old. And nope.
I think that's as much as like Spider-Man's character letting villains go and having those villains come back and like beat the hell out of them.
Well, I mean that's like, the equivalent of Batman always letting the Joker go when he knows he's just going to blow up half of Gotham.
Well, that's also because Batman like doesn't kill.
Right.
But the thing is though, it's
well,
like
neither does none of them unless you're the Punisher or Moon Knight or
like Peter Parker forwarded his origin by letting a criminal go.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a pattern that's always in this part of like Spider-Man's like mythology. But anyway, so like I don't know. I think if you didn't see that family dying,
no, I like, did. I mean, a fool wouldn't. It's happened. It was a hat trick at that point.
Yeah. So
I was just holding out hope.
Yeah. So, but that's not really like a reason to dislike the movie.
No, it's not. I mean, like I said, I don't hate it.
It's a little. What are your other?
All the Wolverine movies just kind of start to feel drawn out at a certain point.
Okay.
Like, I feel like they're all 45 minutes longer than they need to be.
45, really? Jeez.
I mean, like after Professor X went, I was like, all right, they're going to start to wrap this up. And then it just kept going and going and going, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just...
Yeah, I don't know. I think the movie
like, they explained the X-Men not being there away right. But it would have been nice to see more than just cat-like.
Well, I mean, so part of...
Like, I get there's a future with no X-Men and mutants, and this is kind of where... And the resurgence is... Like, I get that, but at the same time, it's like...
Well, did you...
Sprinklings would have been nice,
Did you... Well, it's still a Logan movie.
Right. I mean, like, but all the other ones have had at least cameos by...
Yeah, but, I mean... Like you're kind of, it's almost like saying you don't like Force Awakens because Luke Skywalker is not in the movie anymore. Like you're expecting something that's not in the movie.
No, I was expecting it to be straight up, and the violence was great. The action was really good. Like the story was solid.
Yeah.
It just
but you don't think this like added to like what their experiment, because like you can argue right now that Fox is handling the X-Men. Despite what people say, better than any studio has handled a comic book property outside of like the Marvel.
Oh, definitely.
Like
when you look at the overall quality, aside from their couple of hiccups, especially with these last couple that they've put out, like they are on an upward trend of putting out better quality of everything.
Like talking about like other X-Men, though, like they had the Reavers, which were the guys hunting them. They were straight from the comic.
Okay.
You had Caliban, who was from that version was from X-Men Apocalypse.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So like you had that. You had a Doctor related to Wolverine that kind of is going all the way back to X2 or even Wolverine Origins, like the guy, the doctor behind it all. So it's I don't know, like it was definitely, to me, it was universe like expanding. Like they did something weird, which was they connected it to X-Men Apocalypse and X-Men 1 at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they referenced the cage fighting
and the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, and then Caliban now connects it to Apocalypse. So now you have two separate timelines being referenced.
Yes.
I wasn't really quite sure on that. Were you able to follow why there was no X-Men?
Professor X keeps alluding to Wolverine did it, but then you find out Professor X kind of had one of his stroke episodes and maybe killed half of the team.
Well, there was, so like there was some of that which comes from Old Man Logan.
Okay.
Where Mysterio tricks.
I saw that last night. I was doing a little Easter egg video, and I was like, well, I was going to read this book, but I got to give it a year now to forget that little tidbit.
It's Mysterio that tricks him, which is kind of like completely dumb.
Why would Spider-Man villains be fucking with Wolverine?
Because in Old Man Logan, the villains realize that if they're grossly more powerful than the heroes, and if they just kind of work together for a day,
the old
like if they could
Legion of Doom mentality.
If they could just work together for 10 minutes, they would just obliterate everybody.
This is true.
Which is like, and that's why Old Man Logan is Marvel's true Dark Knight Returns. Like it took them a long time. They had a couple attempts, but Old Man Logan is the true answer to Dark Knight Returns. And Old Man Logan is already folded into Marvel continuity more. Like the ideas have already bled into, I think the mining, you're probably with me on this, the mining for Dark Knight Returns is over.
Oh, yeah.
Like we kind of need to move on. Which is really...
Unless you're going to go... Zack Snyder, Watchmen, full blown. Hey, we're doing this as a set alone, but it's going to be full. Like
it's really weird.
They've already taken all the best parts of that book and added them where they could be added.
So
aside from Carrie Kelly popping up as a Robin in a movie, which they even kind of do in Lego Batman with Dick Grayson because he looks like Carrie Kelly.
So how was that? I knew you saw that.
It was pretty good. I like. Did you see it?
Nah, it just seems stupid to me.
Well, I like
I have no interest in it.
Like, within the first 10 minutes, like, all the villains cameo from Batman. Like, even the Egghead to the Pharaoh from, like, 66. Like, all of them. Yeah. Jeez. But, like, they all go the way of the dodo, like, within the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. So, literally, aside from the Joker, it's all Batman battling, like, Voldemort and Gremlins. And, like, all these Warner Brother property villains are just running loose. And that's who he's got to deal with. It was pretty good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
It did. There were points where I was nodding off. It got a little long and drawn out. But and they use a lot of the same jokes from the Batman 66 Caper Crusaders, the return of.
Oh, okay.
Where Will Arnett's doing the same lines that Adam West did from all the Batman movies. Yeah. And it's like, I wish you wouldn't have done this in 2 animated movies in the same year, because now it just seems lazy and cheap to me. Like
lazy and
cheap.
It
did, because he's literally the exact, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts. And Adam, and just,
yeah. Not good.
Yeah. I think he throws out the operating table line.
Okay. Yeah, I just kind of like, there's just a side of me that is like, like I don't have to see everything if maybe I eventually watch something, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to see. Like,
that was a date night. That was a date. Me and Rach wanted to see it. We weren't going to fight over what movie to go and see. It was just easier.
So, what were some of your other issues with Logan? Family, you have a little bit too long.
A little bit.
A little bit too long.
Just a little bit. I mean, all my problems are nitpicky, I guess, because that's just the way I am with my comic book movies. Like, I would have liked to have seen a more glorious way for him to go than a tree stump to the chest. Like, that to me was... I mean, I get the healing factor's gone, so anything would have done it.
Yeah.
But it just... part of me was waiting for them to pull him off of the tree and the old, like, Wolverine X-Men music to cue up and it all start to heal back together.
Were you expecting them to kill him?
I kind of was, yeah. All the talk of him being done and everything, just kind of... I was like, if they're going to throw him...
But he's still done in, like... even like an alternate timeline / future.
Right.
Like,
That's
he's
what.
still-
Like he could
he's
still
he's
come
still kinda-
back if he really wanted
Yeah.
to.
I mean,
Because
he's
the way they set it up with the Deadpool, it's almost like
what
if the which that was cool, but if the Deadpool is within the real like X-Men universe and Logan's playing at a movie theater within Deadpool's like that could just be an X-Men movie that's like
Well-
it's kind of
well, it's
all these fourth walls that
Well,
they're
yeah,
throwing up
like-
now are like, wait, which one's real? What do they watch? Like, it's the Tarantino. Jules would go and watch Kill Bill at the movies, like that type of.
yeah. Well, it's still I mean, like there's a Tarantino film universe,
Right.
And then there's
a
a Tarantino.
movie universe
Yeah.
where it's films that
That-
the people from his
Right.
universe would go and sit. So, like, I'm almost like, is Deadpool the movie one? Is Logan the one that all the X-Men are watching? Like, this shit's so fake, dude. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't happen like that.
But but Deadpool is still kind of
That one's the wild card to me. It could go either way in any universe. They could build a whole new X universe around him. They could plop him in where it works.
Yeah, but also too, I mean, there was a episode, an issue of the. So I'm looking for one of my chargers here. Can't find it. There was a issue of I think it was the Punisher, might have been the Punisher written by Garth Ennis, where Punisher. It's the best 2-issue Wolverine Punisher fight that they've like ever done, in my opinion, and that like Punisher just fights Wolverine like completely dirty, like he
Like he always does.
like he's just like unrelenting. So in this issue, he rolls Wolverine over with a steamroller
okay.
and leaves the steamroller on him, and then like Wolverine regenerates from that. Okay,
Right.
just being flattened. So that, and I think there was like another follow up to them where Wolverine like ended up regenerating from like a tooth.
I could see that.
Like that was all that was left was like a tooth. And if Mark was here, Mark could probably pinpoint that exact, because that's what Mark's awesome at. And so even with Wolverine at the end of this movie dead in the ground, like there is no definition that his healing factor
Right.
has stopped.
Was it the
I mean-
adamantium that was poisoning him?
Yes.
Side note, it was.
It was, yeah.
I was wondering if like cancer developed and he just wasn't getting it taken care of.
No,
And it was screwing him.
they did like an Iron Man where he was poisoning himself.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Which I guess is from
But-
the alternate timeline at that point because he never really. Because it all kind of gets rewritten at the end of Apocalypse. No, Days.
Yeah,
Days.
where days where he because like they kind of
He would have already been in, but
yeah.
he's-
I mean, like it's a weird thing even that they put the movie like 30 years into the future.
Right.
Like it's just weird that like he seems to have such a short lifespan.
after
like-
so many years, like that was one of them. Like because it was
Yeah,
like,
he-
well, it's been 16 years since the Days thing ended, and Professor X looked perfect, and Wolverine looked great. Like
Yeah, I
within
mean-
16 years, these two have gone
Like it's just
so downhill.
It's
like,
just but a part of like I guess the one thing I would like to have seen more of the world that they live in.
right. I would, you know, it would
Like
have been nice.
I would like to have kind of seen like more of that. Like even in the opportunities you had to see more. Like with him driving in the beginning,
Right.
like you could have seen a little bit of the topography of the lane or like the landscape of Vegas change or get or New Mexico and the Mexican border look a little bit different. And
Right.
it just kind of like had maybe like a couple different cars, like futuristic looking cars, or like a newspaper or something to say like what's happening or like where things are. But did you also notice that when the doctor at the end, he was discussing what they did, how they suppressed the human population?
yeah.
And he essentially does like a Jack Nicholson. They do a Jack Nicholson and as the Joker in the '89 Batman, where they poison.
All the products.
Yeah, and they suppress the X Factor gene.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they were trying to mutate everybody.
No, they
Okay.
sniffed out the mutants, and then once that, like, I guess once that went down, like once the population went down, they got into creating their own.
Okay.
So then they would
it would have been
they would be the only ones that have mutants.
Yeah.
And that's why then they would have like this unstoppable army to do
Gotcha.
God knows what with.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
See, like, it would have been cool if they would have used something like the legacy virus to explain away, like, mutants not, and like the ones that are alive are just kind of immune, but their day is coming type deal.
They could have but they kind of already did legacy virus stuff. They kind of already did mutant disease stuff. They they handled the mutants in the Fox movies the same way that Paramount handles the Transformers.
Okay.
Which is they're weakened. Mutants are weakened against humanity. It's not the other way around. Like, humans can still kill Optimus Prime. They can still take out a Decepticon. They can still fight. Like, there aren't, like, it's kind of weird. Like, there aren't, like, an even playing field, even though one is a highly advanced robot race.
Yeah, and we have tracer rounds.
Yeah, and then with the X-Men movies, like, I guess, like, maybe starting with X3, like X-Men 1 and X-Men 2 are actually great with the political, like, side story.
Right.
To where this threat is coming, they're trying to contain it because they know it means extinction. Right?
Right.
Like, that's a lot of what that means. And that's one of those, like, points of X-Men that we talked about earlier. Like, that's one of the reasons why X-Men always has a point.
Right.
So, with that being said, at that point, the humans in all the other X-Men movies, including some of the Wolverine movies, have a heightened role in the fate of mutants. Okay?
Yeah.
And this was another example of that, to where it's just like, okay, like, they can, like, even in, I watched X-Men Apocalypse twice this week.
Okay.
Because I'm a loser. I got nothing better to do with my time. Listened to and sat down and watched. Okay, and by sit down and watch, I mean I sit on the arm of my couch, like because I refuse to kind of like slump down to be comfortable to watch some of it. But it's like, even in that, it's like, Stryker just rolls into the school after it blows up, like rolls into the school, takes everyone out, and captures whoever he wants, and it's almost like in X-Men 2. When Stryker invades the school,
right?
Okay, the kids are like a threat. The kids are like, these little kids are competing with these trained military soldiers,
right? Okay,
and they have to do these like sneaky tactics to maybe hopefully isolate them. But even like Iceman, who's like like a junior or whatever, like he's a mid-level student. Just makes an ice ball, like, because that's his power.
Screw you,
right? Okay, and I think Transformers is in the same spot, where I think with this new Transformers, it looks like that they're going back to cranking up Transformers.
Right.
Like what the Transformers are in Transformers. It looks like they're cranking that up, but at the same time, though, they always like intertwine history with Transformers, which kind of like equalizes it, which balances things out.
Right.
Like it's weird when it is like a little bit of my revelation with the Arrival. Which is when I saw that did you watch it?
I picked it up.
Yeah, so like here's my whole takeaway from that. Like one of my takeaways. Number one, I think it's by far the best movie that came out this year.
Okay.
I think it's by far. I think it should have won the Academy Award. I was hoping for a upset.
I believe it.
I got a different upset.
You ain't lying.
Different upset, but. Arrival kind of made me have a revelation, which is by the end of that movie, you can go anywhere. Like, you can do a sequel, and you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because you have such a perfect, interesting, like, first note. Like, interesting seed.
Right.
And you can do an entire film series on the Arrival.
Set in different places and different times, and it'll
You can go up to like 3,000 years into the future with that movie.
Yep.
And that was a part of my revelation. It wasn't like exactly that. it was more or less, and I've been battling in how to be vocal about this and define it, because it's a thought that's not really like formulated yet, but it's like there's a power in going forward when it's storytelling.
Right.
When it's saying like this is point zero and we're just going to go forward. Mm-hmm. Okay. Where today the obsession is going backwards.
Right.
And when you go backwards, like, it takes away any element of surprise. You're constantly going backwards, and you know what's happening. You know what's going to happen.
Makes sense.
It's easier to predict. Look, we had theories about Rogue One, but at the end of the day, it's like those guys dying was not a complete shock, because you knew that was.
I hit so many nails on the head when I went back and listened to that.
Oh yeah.
Even down to like, oh, Leia's going to be in it. Like, is that confirmed? No, but come on, Leia has to be in it.
But the thing is, though, it's kind of like there's a power in just going forward,
right?
And no one wants to. Everyone's afraid. I mean, maybe this is why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is what it is, because they're just going forward.
To an extent. I mean, when they do go back, it's something that you don't know.
But it's like exposition.
Yeah, it moves the story forward.
But it's not like Wolverine Origins, Batman Begins.
Right.
Rogue One is not exposition.
Right.
It's like a whole other thing. Like it is a story. It's a complete story that takes place between these two stories.
Right.
Where you know the outcome. Mm-hmm. Like, it's even like you watch Batman Begins. Okay, I mean, like, it has Bruce Wayne moments, but you're in no way you're like, how's he going to get out of this? Oh, I don't care.
Exactly.
He becomes Batman.
Yep.
He becomes Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, okay.
We already got the other 4. I know he's going to live in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think even it was a marketing mistake, marketing Wolverine as his last movie. Because how much more of a shock would have been if he just died. And you're like, yo, they just killed Wolverine. And then it's almost like an athlete. Like, sometimes when you win the Super Bowl, you retire. You announce your retirement.
Right.
Why wouldn't it have been bad if he just announced his retirement after the movie came out?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, genius move. Yeah. Feel free to take that Hollywood publicist for next time. Maybe for Robert Downey's departure in Iron Man.
Amen.
Which we can agree that character should not die with Robert Downey.
No,
right?
None of them should really die with those actors.
Who would you be like set for Wolverine 2.0? Who would be Wolverine 2.0? Or like, do you think they're just going to go all female now?
I don't think they'll go all female. If they're smart, they'll leave them out for a movie or two, just to kind of let Hugh Jackman wash away from everybody.
Yeah, I would like to see Tom Hardy.
I can see that. I think that would be really good.
He's such a brawler, dude. He's such a brawler.
Did you watch any of his show, Taboo?
No.
It's all right.
If when you go back and listen to the 30 minutes without Norm of this episode, I touch on that.
Okay.
It's so hard for me to get into a TV show. Like, I'm into Legion because I think it's.
I tried watching that last night, episode 2.
I think that's one of the most forward shows that I've seen in a long. It moves everything forward. Writing, cinematography, effects, storytelling. The storytelling for that, Mark and I were kind of bad, and he wrapped it up. He kind of went on a little tangent about that better than I could. But he kind of breaks down like how that first episode is forwards and backwards, like at the same time. And he just listening to him, he got me a little bit more into it. So we'll wait till we get into that. Or maybe we'll just gloss over it. But episode 2 I thought was as strong as episode 1. And I think I'm 4 behind now.
Yeah.
That's why I hate television. Like, I'm like, come on. I just caught up on Always Sunny.
Okay.
Season 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think you were wrong with that.
Really?
It's not a throwback. No, like...
No, I didn't know. I said they were finally getting their footing back. Yeah. Last season was all the throwbacks to like...
No, yeah, because we talked about them like tying up like storylines.
Right. Now this season's been all...
I think after season 8, the format of the show shifted. And it shifted to more kind of like fantasy, hypothetical, their schemes got a little bit more
Out
like
there.
imaginative.
Yeah.
Okay.
More grandiose.
Yeah, and that's fine because like what do you do?
Yeah,
Like,
well, they're the most grandiose, unrealistic,
yeah.
like effed up members of society.
right.
Like,
But their schemes aren't so.
it's
like,
Seinfeld on crack.
I guess
those guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's like their schemes aren't so street level,
Right.
as they were from 3.
Yeah.
From 3 till 8.
Right.
Okay, and then they kind of, but and I'm fine with the way that show is now because that cricket episode
Oh, dude.
is so freaking dude that and I just love it that at the end he like owns up to like what he is like finally.
You guys mind if I smoke some PCP in your bed?
Yeah.
Oh man, that one.
But, yeah.
That one where Matt came out. That was great.
Yeah, see, like that's a lot of what I mean too.
Hero or racist?
Yeah. It's,
Even the little girl knew who I was talking about. Like,
but yeah, and I just I just think there's a chunk of Always Sunny that is more like, hey, like wouldn't it be crazy if they did this?
right.
As opposed to, all right, like let's start the episode with Dennis finding a baby in a dumpster and let's go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of what, like how they set up their storytelling. It's like they pose almost like a trial, like a question early, and then sometimes that gets resolved within one scene, like or a scene or two. It gets resolved early,
Right.
and then the show goes on. It's like a second path, which is. But anyway, so what else? So Kern said nothing about Logan.
Nah, not too much. He wasn't
Yeah.
a fan. I could tell by
I
the
don't
face.
understand. Yeah, I
He
don't,
hasn't liked any of the Logan movies.
yeah, I
really.
don't understand how anyone could not dislike this. Like, I just think this movie has everything. Like it just has.
Yeah, no,
like
it's raw. It's great. It's got like an old westerny feel to it. Which is ironic because Professor X is watching that old western throughout.
yeah.
But it just kind of feels like.
Did you know what that movie was?
They say the name.
It's How the West Was Won
Okay.
by Sergio Leone.
The old Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Right?
That is
He did those?
Yes, that is. Sorry, here I'm trying to. I did a post for us on the wrong Instagram account that I have to delete. Which is I'm going to delete right now. I got too much happening on Instagram sometimes because my life is just full of too many activities. I can't keep track. What's up? What you got?
So, call me confused, but I thought Nathan Summers was X-Man and not Cable.
No, Nathan Summers. Nathan Summers is Cable.
Okay.
There should be an alternate Nathan Summers as X-Man
Okay.
that spawned out of Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and
because in my X encyclopedia, there's Cable, and he's whatever, something Summers. And then on the X-Man page that has the 2-page fold where you turn the book sideways,
Yes.
that one says Nathan Summers, and he's a clone of da-da-da-da, wah-wah-wah-wah, and like all that good stuff. But
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I thought Nathan Summers was X-Man.
Yeah, he's from Age of Apocalypse. I think there's two takeaway characters that went into Marvel continuity from Age of Apocalypse. One was Dark Beast.
I was going to say Dark Beast because he's badass.
Dark Beast, which is just a character they should have killed off like hundreds of times, and X-Men. Yeah, and I think. So real quick to like correction. So, and I went over this in the latest episode. So, when we were talking about Legion last time, I said that he led into Onslaught.
Okay.
Legion leads into Age of Apocalypse.
Okay.
Okay, Professor Xavier going into the mind of Magneto creates Onslaught. So that's how Onslaught kicks off. Onslaught is like a manifestation of Xavier and Magneto. That's why he's got Magneto's colors and similar helmet.
Okay.
Okay, like similar shapes. And Legion was a reality rift that he created that went into Age of Apocalypse. Yeah, so that's and those are still, in my opinion, the two biggest X-Men, two biggest and two of the best X-Men stories ever.
Oh yeah, I want to read Apocalypse so bad, just to see Cyclops lose his eye and
I mean, like
Wolverine's hand to get blown off.
Yeah, it's just like cool, like
all their costumes look great,
fantasy stuff, and it's pure '90s design work.
Oh yeah,
it's a mark of the era. They were so ballsy because they stopped all the X-Men books and they retitled them for 4 issues. So you had like a 4 issue numbering gap.
Okay.
Like X-Men, Uncanny X-Men became Astonishing X-Men. Like X Factor became, I think X Factor stayed X Factor, but just got renumbered. Like Excalibur, I think they reworded that. So like they just had a way of doing it all,
tying it all together.
Yeah, they just they kept their current books. I think they added new. There was like a chronology book, which went into like the history of how things came to be. And I think that's where you learn more about what happened with Cyclops and Wolverine and what happened with Magneto. Magneto was like leading one of the X-Men teams. So was Rogue. Like you kind of had like these like explanations, which is something that they continue to today. There was this other alternate storyline called Age of X.
Okay.
And so they run that, and it's all alternate stuff, and I get so sick of it sometimes. And they had like a couple issues that explained how the X-Men, like how the entire world assaulted the X-Men. And they had this these like force barriers in the city that they would like have to reinforce every few days to like keep the war at bay, like and like that's Age of X. And I even forget how that one even wraps up. I just read it not too long ago, and I just kind of like was breezing through it, like just looking at more of the artwork, not even interested in what was happening, because it like I'm all for like alternate realities in comics,
right?
But it's kind of like they shouldn't ever be major storylines.
I can
like
see that.
like Age of Apocalypse is such an exception because it's such a wide range, or such a like grasp of like doing this thing on a truly like epic scale. It's such a grasp for it.
Well, that even becomes like a what if, because it's not going to be the way it is forever.
Yeah.
So at a point, it's just like, all right, for 12 issues, we're having fun. If Apocalypse took over X-Men universe, like none of it, it doesn't have the permanency that some of the other stuff has.
No, I 100% agree. So I need to.
Like X-Men The End, that one really had no permanency. It was just those The End books.
Yeah, that was just like a series. They were just like,
hey, if the X-Men were going to end and die, this is how it would be.
Yeah, and X-Men The End is just fantastic.
Oh,
because it like it really goes through like everything.
Everyone has their moments.
Yeah.
Rogue, Gambit. I think Colossus is one of the only guys that really doesn't. He falls to like Juggernaut really early on.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with the Colossus love. I'm just so sick of people liking him. He was never like I get it, but who cares? Like it just cracks me up. People just love Colossus, and like how they love Nightcrawler so much that he had to like end up in Age of Apocalypse again.
Yeah, see, I'm not a big Nightcrawler guy.
Like, and it's just the X-Men, they're the only superhero team where you can just even create new characters for any medium and just have it work, because the explanation is that they're a mutant.
Yep. And they're all colorful and out there anyway, so there's really nothing that you can't do that doesn't fit in.
So would you recommend Logan to someone?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. And it's
you would have them see it.
It's like a darker, grittier Western type. If you want to see the Dark Knight Returns live action type deal, go and see Logan, because that's the closest you're gonna get.
Yeah, I agree. My phone's driving me nuts. I gotta put it down. I hate my phone so much.
I hate your phone too.
And I'm nowhere near. I don't have one of my handy chargers anywhere. So okay. So, what were your expectations going into Logan?
I really didn't have any. I was trying to stay away from him.
Yeah.
I was hoping that maybe like him and Deadpool would share a scene. It would be completely out of place.
Yeah.
Or maybe a fever dream or something that Wolverine was having. Like, I guess that was it, because I started hearing rumblings about Deadpool, and it ended up being that preview at the beginning, but, you know.
Yeah. So, and then, were you connected to any of the reviews, any of the press hype?
I actually stayed away from it this time, because I didn't want to.
I think people were dead on.
Like, the only thing that I did see for it was maintaining at like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, I don't want to know anymore. Because the last movie was 100%, and that was crap. Like, no.
Well, it's everything.
Well, Lego Batman was 100%. And it's not a 100% movie, I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah. Well,
not that it's crap.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like, let's just see. Like, Logan's at 93% right now.
Right. I'd give it like 87%.
And so the critic score is 93%. The audience score is actually 95%.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty solid. And then let's just see here. Like, if we go through the
what's Kong trending at?
Well, Kong's falling, right? Like,
is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I read nothing but good reviews for that the other day.
I don't know where you're reading your reviews. That movie has really bad word of mouth.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I was seeing it was a feast for the eyes, and the action was nonstop.
I don't know.
That's the review I read.
No one I follow that's seen it says anything good about the story, the characters. Yeah, like everyone says, like when he fights, it's cool, but other than like that's not enough to carry the movie, which is something you always hear. Like and it kind of was like building towards like I guess like a big set piece at the end, but the big build towards that is just like it's like it's almost I guess a little bit like how Batman vs Superman was set up.
Okay.
Where by the time you got to the end, you just were like, well, you gave me nothing to care about.
Okay. I still see it Thursday.
Kong is okay. So, top down from Rotten Tomatoes. Legion TV show 93%. Logan 93%. X-Men Apocalypse 48%.
Oh Jesus.
Deadpool 84%. Days of Future 91%.
Ooh.
The Wolverine 69%. First Class 86%. Origins 38%. Last Stand 58%. X-Men United 86%. X-Men 81%. Yeah. So, and it looks like that the people are somewhat like there's a gap between Origins. Critics 38, audience 58%. That's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
The Wolverine matches 69%.
Okay.
Days of Future is 91%. Which is funny. Yeah. Days of Apocalypse, there's a gap too, or Apocalypse, there's a gap, 48%, 67%.
Okay.
So, do you have any issues with Apocalypse? Because I watched it this week again. I haven't seen it since the theater.
Okay.
And my takeaway is that, like, the movie moves. Like, it moves. Yeah. Like, you're constantly, like, next scene,
you don't get bored.
Next scene, moving forward. But it takes so freaking long to start.
Yes.
It takes forever to like.
It takes forever to start,
going.
and they underutilize everybody again.
Well,
I mean, Psylocke has 2 good scenes, maybe 1 fight.
Yeah,
Angel doesn't have shit.
Yeah,
like nothing.
You always get that when you cream it.
I mean that goes with that, but I mean
but that's where X-Men movies are even different than something like the Avengers or Guardians.
Well, they've always kind of, like I can't think of one movie where aside from maybe Lady Deathstrike they last. Even like the first X-Men movie, they all break off, pair off, like in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And boom, boom, lightning strike, stab to the belly, like, and it's all like once the face-offs come in any X-Men movie, aside from Last Stand, where you actually get like an X-Men kind of war.
Yeah.
It like those one-off battles are just snap of the fingers and it's over.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Well, I think that is a little bit of the direction, like of how, like what the combat is like, because they're all so deadly. So like fights,
I guess I just like to see more of like
like fights,
Pyro versus Iceman, where they're evenly matched, so there's actually something kind of going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I like
slightly
I'm not
extended.
I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying. I think that is like something that's always been missing.
Like they're always just too clean. Though,
yeah,
like
I just think that movie like kind of became a Magneto movie, because like his what happens with him, like, and like his you can say like his backstory between the two movies is so tragic,
right?
And he gets his motivation to join Apocalypse.
And, well, I'd even argue that whole trilogy is Magneto. Like, if the original X-Men are Wolverine, the prequels would be Magneto and maybe James McAvoy's story. But more centered on Magneto and his struggles.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he's by far the more interesting.
Oh yeah,
like character between him.
Fassbender's just. I hope they keep him around for a while.
Between him and Xavier, like Magneto has the better story.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
By far.
Yeah, but X-Men Apocalypse also, like they spent so much time setting up Quicksilver and him.
Yeah. And then they just
kind of
I'll tell you one day I gotta go.
Yeah, it's so and then Mystique is like telling people that they're related.
Yeah.
Like Mystique is like Mystique told Storm, and then Storm's like, Mystique told me, blah 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 blah, and he's like, yeah, maybe someday I'll tell him. And I'm just like, what?
Your whole motivation for coming was to tell him you have your moment, and now you're pussing out.
And I think the other fault for Apocalypse is you have no sense of it being in the 80s.
I can see that.
There is no feeling of it being. There is one song from the 80s in the movie,
and one mall scene where you see 80s clothes.
It's just weird. Like I think the fashion in the movie isn't 80s enough. They could have went more comical. I mean, it's even like I think there's stuff there that seems to be missing.
It almost looks like it's more in the 70s, especially the way Alex looks before he gets blown to bits. Like he looks more like a late 70s, like flowy hair, windbreaker, members only jacket, like. So
like they're moving forward with
Supernova,
and with a TV show now.
Okay.
So someone was just cast as Polaris for an X-Men TV project.
Yes, they also, I don't know if you saw this, but they cast Blink from Days of Future Past.
Okay.
The girl who she signed on to that show as well.
See, like they can do
in the Blink role.
They can do a Exiles show, which Blink was a part of. A mutant team called the Exiles.
Okay.
And they were like a team of X-Men from alternate realities that went into alternate realities and so on and so forth.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was called Exiles because it had an X in it.
Yeah. They all have X. Excalibur.
Yeah.
We don't have the sword, but...
Yeah, so what else?
It's got an X.
So overall, you and I was very pleased with Wolverine.
No, it was solid.
I thought it was, on a structure sense, story-wise... solid. Might have been the best written X-Men movie. I thought James Mangold really went to like another level in developing the story.
This one didn't really feel like an X-Men movie to me. It felt like superhero, but I wouldn't call it.
No, it's not. It's Logan.
Right.
So like you're getting a solo movie mixed up with.
No, you just said like X-Men movie. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean like grouping it together like that.
Yeah.
But it's by far.
Yeah, no. If you went into this expecting it to be an X-Men, none of the ones named after him have been. Maybe that first one.
The first one definitely was a grab at
trying to make it
centering the entire X universe around Wolverine, and then having nonstop X-Men spin-off like solo movies.
Right.
That was the whole, because even at that point they even announced the Magneto solo movie.
And wasn't there going to be a Storm too?
I think there was going to be a Storm. They had so many ones for. It's a lot like the Star Wars. Like everyone,
one-off, yeah.
Star Wars. Everyone in the Star Wars universe is projected to have a solo movie. Mm-hmm. There's like a huge list in Disney right now.
Oh, I can imagine.
Thing. Yeah,
I can imagine.
You know,
Chewbacca needs his own trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but no, I thought the use of the effects, the way it was shot, that they like I never thought X-23 was like a good character.
I can see that.
Yeah, like I kind of hated it. It's funny that they even used her foot blade in that.
Yeah, I
wasn't expecting that.
I like that.
I was like, all right, at least they're not using the foot blade.
I like the excuse that Xavier gives for it.
It's
they use the front for defending and the back for killing.
Yeah, and it's just you're just like, okay, like I don't think the comic ever did that.
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But so no, I think this is definitely one of the strongest of the mutant Fox movies. This is the Wolverine that everybody was craving to see. Took them too long to get there, though. Took them too long to bring us this type of Wolverine. To bring us like this type of movie with the character.
I mean, he shouldn't have had to take a pay cut to make it R-rated this way. Like that's
well, you kind of do, because if it's PG-13,
they're gonna make more money.
Yeah, right. So you're worth less if you choose to make the movie in a fashion that is going to get less of an audience.
I would make that argument, but the amount of kids that were in that damn theater yesterday, it's not stopping them.
Yeah. I mean, look, this movie's going to make money. It's just how high does it go is the question.
Right.
I don't think it's going to carry like Deadpool.
No.
I think it's going to get the core. It's going to bring in some outsiders. I don't know if it's going to go much further than that. Okay. I mean, the budget still had been 130, 120. I'm not even sure. Like, you can look up the budget.
No.
Yeah, let's see.
I went on a Easter egg hunt last night, which there aren't that many out for right now.
Wait, you're looking for Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Like just explain that to me, please. I'm sorry. Explain.
Well, every year this bunny comes with chocolates. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the little hints and nods and throwbacks to
you mean movie Easter eggs? Yes. I thought you meant Easter eggs.
No.
I thought that was something I wasn't. Okay. Oh wow! Look, wow. This is significant.
$46 million budget.
97 million.
Oh, I was ballpark. That's ballpark. I didn't go over. I didn't say 130.
97 is, and it's already at 52.4 million. So real quick though, do you know the people that created Wolverine?
Define created.
Like who are the people who created Wolverine?
I'm gonna say an angry little Canadian man.
It's Len Wein, John Romita Sr., and Roy Thomas.
Okay, the second name sounds familiar.
Okay, Len Wein's the guy that wrote the Hulk issues.
Okay.
John Romita is the one who did the initial design work for Wolverine. He was, I believe, he was Marvel's art director. Also, the greatest Spider-Man artist of all time.
I probably did. He do Tormented?
No,
Spider-Man Tormented.
That is Todd McFarlane.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You're about 3 generations. Roy Thomas was like, late 60s, mid 70s.
I mean, Logan was second gen new giant size X-Men he popped up in, right?
No, his first appearance was Hulk 181.
Hulk versus.
No, Hulk 181.
Where he had to fight Wolverine though. He's like the villain.
Well, no, he fights Wendigo and Hulk.
Okay.
And he was deployed by the Canadian government because the two of them were Wendigo and Hulk.
I have a crossover shirt.
We're close to the Canadian border, so they send in Wolverine.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then he's briefly appeared in 180, full issue 181, and leaves in 182.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, and very much available issue, like because of the print runs, but in high demand. That's what drives up the price. But anyway, so the reason why I want to get did this movie? Did I miss Did this movie have a Stan Lee cameo?
I didn't see one.
No Stan Lee cameo, right?
No.
Let me do.
And it wasn't Easter egged.
Okay. I just did a search on the wiki. Right, the director said the long version of this sequence was later released by Reynolds in his YouTube channel, which features a cameo appearance by Stan Lee himself. Okay. I guess not. Because I'm not sure what segment. So like,
no, that's for the Deadpool trailer.
And this is the only movie that kind of connects to a post-credit sequence.
Right. Yeah.
Like the X-Men Apocalypse post-credit sequence actually
is the Essex Corps.
Yeah,
right.
actually leads into Logan, which is we
just never get to see Sinister.
Like they just usually these movies have Mark and I were discussing this. There's no X-Men post-credit sequence that actually leads anywhere.
No.
That is explained. Or
he comes back from Japan. You see Trask everywhere. Yeah. Magneto and Xavier have to talk, but then the next one picks up 70 years in the future, and everyone's dead.
And then like Mystique is the president,
right?
And then Mystique is Stryker. None of it is. Yeah, I was really hoping when you saw the clone Wolverine, like the clone Logan,
right?
Which no one's bitching about, which is funny, but everyone bitches about the stuff from Rogue One. Did you notice that? Rogue One, blasphemous. You can't do this. Logan, everyone's okay with it. And I thought the Logan one looked worse than the Rogue One, right? Because there were times where like you would see him and you're like, like, could maybe do something else?
The whole time I was sitting there and I was like, I wonder if James Mangold knew he was going to make this movie and he had Hugh Jackman fill all his scenes with the shaved head when he was filming Les Mis, when he was all prisonered up because he's got the long beard and whatnot. Like, the whole time I was like, why is Les Mis Hugh Jackman in this movie?
I thought that was going to be Mystique when you first saw. And I'm like, yo, like Mystique is like their secret weapon.
I was a little disappointed with the X-20, like just because it was him, and I was like, at a point, I was like, all right, this is gonna be a badass kind of like, oh, it's young Logan.
Yeah, it's like it's
damn it,
dude, it's Wolverine versus Wolverine,
right?
And okay,
I wish they would have just made that Liv Schreiber and like kind of did a Sabretooth thing at least.
Like when I first saw it, I was like
the Logan DNA's not working. Let's get some Sabretooth.
Like I went in two directions. When I first saw that, I said, "Oh, Xavier is seeing Sabretooth as Logan because he's delirious." And then I was like, "Oh, could it be Mystique?" And that's immediately where I went because in the Ultimate X-Men, which is like one of the last great. Even though it's an alternate, the Ultimate X-Men movie 1 through like 25 or 35, up until Robert Kirkman started to write it, which it kind of went, because he redid Cable. Okay. And it's like, no, fuck you. The Ultimate X-Men arc is the first run, the Mark Millar, Andy Cooper drawn Ultimate X-Men is an X-Men must read. The Sabretooth in that has 4 claws.
Okay.
Has 4 adamantium claws.
Okay.
And you're like, yeah, like he's one more better than Wolverine. He can kick his ass. And he's a bigger monster. He's, so I thought they were like maybe going to do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, because like they're just giving everyone claws and that's fine. The girl has 1 less.
Right.
Because, girls are, like, lesser than men, so, and weaker than men.
So long, audience. It was nice having you while we did.
Like, I don't know if you picked up on that allegory, but that's what I got away with it. No, and so I'm just like, all right, everyone's getting claws, no big deal. I'm like, they gave Sabretooth claws, and they're just, and I really thought it was going to be like, once he stabbed him, like once Xavier was dead, it would be like something else because you would see like the true form because you're seeing it at that point how Xavier thinks it is. But then I'm like, oh, it's just a Wolverine.
Is that the moment when he's talking to him and you find out that's when Xavier killed the X-Men?
Kind of talks about,
or is that when he's saying like enjoy having a family,
Well,
or does he tell him to enjoy having a family when he puts him in the bed?
That was a scene earlier.
Okay.
So
because when he's laying there dying at the end, and he says, "So that's what this feels like," I was like, "Is that a reference to the family line, or is he referencing like, so this is what dying feels like?" Because he finally is.
I think it's
because I couldn't remember if it was the clone Logan that had that conversation with Xavier or the real one.
Logan doesn't hear his final.
Like, I killed the X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I've been yelling at you for it.
Because he says, like, he did, like, horrible things.
Yeah. This is the best day I've had in
that was too,
and I remember.
I don't deserve this. And this is what... And it's kind of funny because... I mean, that's what I mean. Like this movie goes so deep in that relationship. And in the Logan... Xavier relationship.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he starts calling him dad halfway through. Like, that's my pop.
Yeah. Like, we've never really seen... that explored in the comics,
right?
And that's a little bit of why I think this movie is just fantastic, because like anyone can sit down and watch this movie. I feel like there's enough non-silly comic book crap in it.
No, it's like an emotional action movie
to carry it.
Movie.
And you don't really need to know a lot. I think the tidbits and the little nuances in the backstory that they drop could have been. Like maybe a little bit more there. Like maybe say things twice. Like some things, whatever.
Not whisper them.
Yeah, it's just like it's tough sometimes. Like I don't understand why they don't do that. Like they really don't use the 3 rule a lot. Yeah. And it's just like say it 3 times so people know it. Like because like I don't know. Usually I'm drinking before a movie, so. Like, just say 3 times, so I got 3 chances to pick up on it.
Wait, did he just say?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm pretty sure he just said.
Yeah, like give me that hiccup. Like, but I do feel like that this is it's a wonderful movie. It's well made. It's every part is like top tier.
Right.
But it does kind of, I guess, perturb me, anger me a little. Not really anger me, like it's a movie, but like anger me. To the point that like wow, like it took us this long to get here. Like I get it. Like you want to go out in this big epic fest. Like you want to go out on the highest note possible, which you do. But I'm like, jeez, man, like we couldn't have gotten some of this before.
Like,
just like
all of the solo movies should have just been hard R's. You don't want to do it for an X-Men movie. You're toning down Wolverine. Everyone else has their moments. All right, cool. But
I mean, like, so who else would you want to see a solo movie from, X-Men wise?
I can tell you, I'm not really excited for Gambit.
Yeah,
like I don't see the point in that.
Now, like if they do Gambit right.
I mean, if they do it like an Ocean's 11 kind of heist movie, where it's more... No, you don't think playing up the thief?
You know what you do?
What?
You play up his time with the Marauders, when he was Sabretooth's partner, and they went to the sewers, and they executed the Morlocks.
Okay.
You start there. You start You start this guy as a dirty human being. He gambles. Like, he bets. He's got a cool accent. Amazing, like awesome power set, right? Awesome power set. Okay, charge anything. Okay, has a ninja weapon, like has a ninja E weapon. Okay, do stuff with that, but have him be this like weapon that is being used to exterminate mutants in horrific ways. And like I'm not talking like horrific, like
like
it'd be
PG-13,
but he's like killing kids, he's killing women. And then
charge a kid, let him blow up, walk away.
Yeah, and at this point, like what turns him is that he meets Rogue.
Right.
Rogue outside the X-Men.
Okay.
He meets Rogue, maybe like bumps into her at a bar or someplace seedy, but it's full Rogue. It's a new Rogue, full costume, wearing green, big hair.
Hey, Shook.
Streaking her hair, and they fall in love, and that begins, and then he follows her to the Mansion, the X-Men, or Manchester. And that's the arc for Gambit. And then at that point, you also bring in, he's also connected to Mr. Sinister.
Right.
Sinister is the one that sent out the Marauders to kill the Morlocks.
He's the one who had the Essex Corp at the end of Apocalypse. If you stayed till the credits.
And even because I was thinking about this too, is like. This is just like fanboy. This is just me extrapolating. So at the end of Age of Apocalypse, like they kind of don't, in my view, they don't kill Apocalypse
No.
because he's in two minds. He's in Jean Grey's mind and he's in Xavier's mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's in two minds. Like who's to say that the reason why Xavier didn't like the backstory for Logan wasn't Apocalypse like winning over the subconscious at that moment?
That's possible, yeah.
Okay, and then and in the Gambit movie, seeing Apocalypse manifest again with the help of Sinister.
Nah, that'd be cool.
And now we have maybe more of a proper Apocalypse rather than. I'm fine with the one from Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm right. Like
I know a lot of people were pissed about.
I don't know why.
No.
Hey, side note. Are you pumped for Power Rangers?
I'm getting there,
dude. That new trailer came on yesterday. I was like,
did you see the red band for Alien Covenant?
Yeah,
that one's looking.
I will say this with that.
I'm a little confused.
I'm kind of like, you know what it is? It's like, hey, you hear that? You hear that? There's no animals. Okay, I think it's time to leave.
I'll give you that.
The guy's hey, it's wheat. Wheat's not supposed to be here.
Let's go.
I think it's I get it.
Something's fishy.
Like we're all excited to be settlers and doing this we're colonizing for the first time, but we have to go.
Yeah.
Can we go? And
here's I'm very confused. I really am, because like now I'm starting to see like, oh well, this one's got the first openly gay couple and they're going into how are two men going to help colonize and procreate a planet when neither one of them can get pregnant?
You're talking like a Republican.
No, I don't care that they're going to space. Mazel tov. I just don't understand colonization.
You're talking because you know what you're talking now. You're talking about like, just because we say it is makes it so. That's the argument.
What do you mean?
So, all right, okay, like you told me you're a girl because you feel like being a girl.
Okay.
And then you later tell me that you know what it's like to be like you feel like you are a girl. So now you have to get a transgender, whatever. You gotta get your dick shoved up into your Yahoozy, right? And get your hormones, and Norm becomes Normita. Norma. There you go. Yeah, Norm becomes
you drop
Norma.
an N. Yeah, I got a girl's name.
Yeah, Norm becomes Norma. And all that happens is just because you say.
So you're saying one of them could be transsexual?
No, I'm saying that just because people say that would be useful to society, people think it's useful to society. When your exact point is the logic of why would two gay guys be there? Society cannot move forward. You can't procreate. Not that you can procreate off of 20 people anyway.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. You're gonna have some major inbreeding going on at a certain point.
Like you can't, but it's the same idea as like saying, hey.
I mean, unless they're there to break up the gene pool and mate with other people.
It's like this, and this is how.
I'm just confused. That's all.
Yeah, but the idea too, like I don't know if that's true in the movie. I'm just like talking here.
I mean, for all we know, with where they're at in time, men can get pregnant, and it's all moot point.
No,
for all we know,
we'll never watch that movie again if that happens. But no,
work for Junior.
But it did not work for Junior. One of the Schwarzenegger's flops.
Well, who wants to see a fat Schwarzenegger?
Has he had more flops than hits now? Would you argue that? I think that's.
I'd have to pull up his filmography, but I'd say yeah.
I think he's had more flops than hits, but no. So like, let me get back to that point though. So, just because you say you are something doesn't make you that. So, how do you know what it's like to be a female? Right.
Right.
How do you know?
I don't.
You've never been a female.
Never said I did.
Right. No, but that's this point though, and this is why you have to be aware of like it is propaganda in movies. Like movies are made to entertain. They're not for activism.
Right.
Sometimes. Right. Sometimes, but not every single movie that you sit down and this is what I call being taken to school. So like Alien Covenant might be in this position now to say, oh, we're going to just like educate people on gay couples in an alien horror movie where everyone dies. Right. Okay. So like but that's the danger of that, and what it does, it lessens entertainment. Like it lessens your position to make an entertaining movie because you're going in there with an agenda. Okay, when you go in with agendas, everything else crumbles around you.
Right.
Now we just saw this. What movie did we just see this in?
What movie
we just saw
had
this.
agendas?
What movie was going to educate us?
Arrival.
No, yeah. Pete's been talking about Arrival a lot. The Great Wall.
Really,
Great Wall.
you think?
It was a China funded movie, China American funded movie.
Okay.
Through Legendary.
Right.
Okay. China bought a huge stake in Legendary.
Right.
China wanted to make China movies about China to educate people that China was cool. So, in a generation or so, the future business leaders and all these other people would just look to China to grow their businesses and do stuff. Because China has, another misconception, but China has grossly, improved its white, blue collar. The blue collar in China was birthed out of American factories.
Okay.
Because the factories do pay more, they enable a better way of life.
Right.
It's okay. So, they want to continue that. So that they're trying to create you can argue it's propaganda, but it's also called, the other word for that is called social engineering.
Right.
Okay. And social engineering comes into movies now, and they're like, we have to do this. We still have to make the movie American. Well, let's get Matt Damon. And people call it whitewashing. They call it the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. They call it the wrong thing. Okay, right. They call whitewashing in Doctor Strange when you and I sat down here and we were like, all right, they changed they changed one Asian to white female. They changed one Eastern European guy to black.
Yep.
What do you call that?
Yeah.
I
say fair trades all around.
Yeah, fair trades. And not to mention, we saw it with Perry Wright. We saw it with...
They're even doing it on Supergirl with Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. We saw it with Human Torch. We saw it with
Iris
Kingpin.
West in the Flash show.
Yes.
It's no big deal. Mm-hmm. It happens.
Right, because people are people.
I mean, Disney already came out and said when we... because Aladdin... Because we discussed Aladdin before. Yeah. They said that's in development, and they are not... They're pretty much, it's going to be the guy from Life of Pi. That's the only person I could think of taking on the Aladdin
role.
I
think is a huge mistake, because there's who's going to you need someone to open that movie, and you can't have a female side open that movie. So
maybe the genie will be the main driver.
Is it Jafar focused? What you could see.
Nah, yeah, I mean with Maleficent and everything else they've been doing, it very well could be.
But come on. It's fucking Aladdin.
Just follow Raja or Abu. Follow Abu. Do me a favor, Disney, and give me an hour and a half movie about the monkey.
Where are you with Beauty and the Beast? Still excited?
Fading off little by little.
Yeah, it's getting good. It's getting good reviews.
See, I've been seeing mixed reviews.
Now, so you want to see some social engineering?
Okay.
And now I haven't seen it. It's hard for me to talk anything. Mm-hmm. Okay. Beauty and the Beast has already been banned.
Right.
In Kentucky.
For LaFleur.
In Kentucky and Russia.
Right.
Because of gay characters.
Yes.
So this is what I'm talking about. You go into something when you take people to school.
Right.
And you lose market.
I believe it.
Okay.
I was just confused as to how, when the idea is to colonize a planet.
Yes.
You bring these two guys that can't procreate.
It takes you out of it.
It just, to me, unless they're the tech mechanic, we're here to keep you guys alive, you're here to breed, they could explain it away, but out of the get-go of hearing that, it's just
it's just
two dicks can't make a baby, so what's the point of taking up space on the ship?
No, I 100% agree with, but see, I think a lot of times when movies, a lot of times when they don't feel right, when they feel off, when there's something that's like a disconnect, believe it or not, if you go back into that movie, and I'm just talking platitudes here, but a lot of times that's the reason. Yeah. It's because things are so bad right now, and Hollywood is in such a bubble. This is the biggest bubble that they've ever been in. They feel like they have to educate the common person.
Right. Desensitize more than educate, I feel like.
Well, no, I think it's education. I think that the only reason 12 Years a Slave wins, the only reason why Les Daniels, the butler, even gets nominated, the reason why there's outrage that Selma doesn't win Best Picture, the reason why Moonlight wins, is education. We wanted to show people that African Americans can do this when at the same time it's no longer a contest about what people feel is the best.
Well, my brain just goes to like, all right, if you want to educate, I think of like Philadelphia or Dallas Buyers Club, not Alien.
Let's talk.
You know what I mean?
No, Pacific Rim. That's education there. What's the education in Pacific Rim?
Not all Asians can fight.
Norm's triple racist statement there. No, is when you take away the military, you're going to die. You're going to die. The invaders will break the wall and kill all of you.
All right, I guess.
It's a
I've only seen that movie
demilitarization.
once.
Yeah, so
like
so in Pacific Rim, they take away the Jaegers, the military. They put all their money. They
decommission them. They're building the wall to keep everything out.
And then 5 minutes later,
the wall is torn down, and we need Jaegers.
We need the military to protect us.
Can we just talk about how they're in the old robots that gave Idris Elba cancer anyway?
No, that was Generation 1.
Isn't the one
that was Mark 1, Gypsy Danger's Mark 3.
Yeah, he sounds how I feel right now.
No, your Pacific Rim, Norm.
I don't want to.
That movie's so freaking good. I just think that movie would be so up your alley.
I can't stand it. I've tried to watch it so many times.
What do you think you don't like it?
It's slow. It's boring. I don't like Charlie Human in anything.
Yeah.
Which sucks for me that he's my new King Arthur. No, that sucks because I'm gonna have a hard time. I love King Arthur. That's my shit.
How many times have you seen John Borman's Excalibur?
So many. Okay. So many times.
Okay, then
Patrick Stewart, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, you're on my list for that. For me, like that's it. Like I don't care. I'll just watch that.
I will too. But when I hear a new one's coming out, I still get excited.
Man, this one's so stupid.
It's going to be more Clive Owen than that one.
They drain an ocean to find Excalibur. I'm done with it. I was done with it as soon as I saw a helicopter shot of a castle.
I can see that.
I'm just like, I'm done. Even though I love who's the guy in that? Who's the king?
Honestly, I don't know.
He was up for Superman.
No,
he was going to be Mick G was going to make a Superman movie with him.
Nicolas Cage.
No, hold on. It's the guy from I Heart Hucklebees.
Jude
Law.
Oh, okay.
Jude Law is the king of that, and I'm a huge.
I was thinking Schwartzman.
Jude Law. Yeah,
he's gonna make. Oh my god, it's the worst Superman ever.
But no, I'm fine with watching Excalibur.
Oh, I could watch that any day of the week.
I don't think they're ever going to meet that. You're not going to meet. It would be the same, and even though like this is all the same era, it would be the same if they like remade the Dark Crystal. Mm-hmm. If they even if they came out with a new Flash Gordon movie.
Okay.
Like I'm just like no, I'll just watch Sam Neill. I'm like those guys in Ted. I'm like Sam Neill taught me right from wrong.
I met that guy.
yeah, but no, but that's why I think it's I think it's important to decide what you believe is like not perfection.
No, definitely.
Kind of like
I'll put it to you this way:
of something.
Any King Arthur movie / Merlin that I watch, it is always held to Excalibur standard. How does it measure up to that?
It's just,
and the closest that I could come to finding one that measures up is the Sam Neill Merlin.
Yeah.
The Hallmark NBC 2-night 4-hour.
Yeah,
that one's the closest.
That you like that, yeah.
And that one just builds it ignores Arthur heavily, and it builds the mythos of Merlin, which is
it's called Merlin.
Yeah, well, Arthur's in it. All right, he plays like a 2-hour role out of the 6-hour
background owl somewhere.
But I mean, like Uther in that's great. I think Uther's played by Rutger Hauer in that.
Ah,
in all honesty, like the cast is pretty stocked.
Uther Pendragon. That's his.
Yes,
that's his full name.
Yes.
I'm finally. My phone's charged. I'm finally doing a Instagram story update.
Oh crap! My hair's not did.
Yeah, you know. Well, hey, what are you gonna do?
My weave's loose.
What are you gonna do once we start live casting with video?
I'm gonna shower before I come. Obviously, I'm gonna ditch the sweatpants and mustard stained undershirt for
bonus.
Yeah, I'll have to get TV ready, but right now I get to be roll out of bed ready. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but so did you hear about any of the post-credit sequence for Kong? What Kong sets up?
I tried to read the one because if I didn't have to wait through the credits, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And literally the entire article was a summary of that and I was like, I'm not reading all this crap. So I'll wait the 2 minutes to sit through the damn credits.
So apparently it does set up Godzilla,
right,
and the other creatures,
right.
Mothra,
I saw
Rodan.
Pretty much, I saw Godzilla, and I was like, yeah, I can wait until Thursday.
If you subscribe to Stars, Stars right now has all the significant Godzilla movies. Right
okay.
now. And you can subscribe to Stars through Amazon Prime for like $8 a month, $8 or $9 a month.
Right on.
And I'd recommend that. I'd recommend getting into the Toho Godzilla, just because it's just. I think it's something that is like core geek, like real geek.
Yeah.
That's fading. Kind of like the love for kung fu movies.
Definitely.
Like, I think your boss might be like the Sebastian in South Jersey that is heavy into kung fu movies. And I'm not saying they're not making kung fu movies. I'm not saying they're not making martial art movies, but
they're just not the way they were.
There's a style that is gone. Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'd say the '90s was the last time there was a true, aside from like The Raid.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the Raid kung fu movie.
Yeah,
but you watch it.
In the '90s, the closest thing you had to kung fu was Van Damme and Seagal. Like those were your.
Well, those were fighting movies. So like there's.
But they had a form to them more than like Roadhouse, which was a brawler movie.
You're talking martial art movies. See, kung fu movie is like the flying guillotine.
Right. The Bruce Lee Fist of Fury.
Like the five deadly venoms.
Right.
Okay. Like these are your. I might got that one wrong. The deadly venoms, the five deadly venoms.
Yeah, it's five deadly venoms because each one's a form of fighting based off like a scorpion, and they all have the masks, and the master dies, and the guy has to go around.
Yeah, so like that's a little bit bummed, and some of those ones have carried over, but it really is like a dead style. It's a dead art form.
I mean, Kill Bill's the closest, I guess you could say we've had.
Yeah, maybe. Like I would even like to go with your train of thought. I would say like the
martial arts movies of the 90s.
Like the last greatest kung fu movie that you can just kind of argue would be like John Wick.
Okay.
Because the choreography in that is essentially a true gunfight where like he's making contact with the gun.
I'd almost argue Old Boy. The original over.
Old Boy too.
Like that hammer scene when he's running through, like that's solid.
Yeah.
That's just solid.
Yeah. But I would say like Raid and John Wick are definitely kung fu movies just wrapped up in something else. Where they're
a gangster and a cop.
They're designed around like huge fight set pieces.
Right.
And
continuous shots of
it's just like big action. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what else are you looking forward to? Looking forward to Kong.
Kong, I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah.
It's more or less just like, it's Thursday night, I have Comic-Con tomorrow, let me catch a flick.
Where are you with the Peter Jackson King Kong?
I went and saw Peter Jackson King Kong in theaters 5 times.
Whoa.
I've never seen the movie.
You never made it through the movie?
No.
Wow.
We always, because I was dating a girl at the time.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
And she wasn't allowed to be dating, so that was our 3 hours of makeout time. So
you never...
I've seen bits and pieces.
You never thought to have a resurgence and to sit down. And,
every time I watch that movie, it just takes me back to the theater, and I'd rather not go back there.
Okay. Jeez.
I was a young man.
Bad things happen in that theater.
What was that like? That had to be like my freshman year of high school when that came out. So
maybe, yeah. I think that is going to be your greatest King Kong movie ever.
Peter Jackson, really?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to be topped.
Okay.
It's such a.
I like the one with Jessica Lange, and like the
Jeff
Bridges. It's not quite like full blown CG. It's still kind of claymate.
Yeah.
Like there's a healthy mix in that one.
Well, yeah, CG wasn't prevalent then.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was all practical and
Right.
stop and go optics. But real quick, where are you with your schoolwork?
when we're done this, if you want to read the screenplay, it's up.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
get to
can
print it, but
Oh,
it's
I gotta
posted,
read
so
it
you can.
online?
Yeah,
Yeah. Can you export that as a PDF?
I saved it as a PDF. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I could probably download
Sure,
it
just
and
email
print it
to
out.
me.
I could do that too.
Just do that. How you think it turned out?
I'm pretty happy with it. Towards the end, I got a little, not as much rushed, but just like, I wrote the first 10, 15 pages in one sitting.
Yeah.
And then I walked away, so coming back, it was kind of like that, getting the wheels moving again,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I mean, there's already stuff that, like, as I was finishing it up, I was like, shit, I should go back and add this to that.
Yeah.
I should foreshadow this a little bit, like maybe have him put a ring in his pocket instead of it just popping out late. So, like, there's stuff I'm already actively working on for
Yeah.
the next rewrite. But as far as the first draft goes, I'm really happy with it. Like, I'm proud of it.
Nice. And how you
excited
how'd
to
you
show
do?
people.
How'd you do with the one assignment that I helped?
Pretty good. I got an 84.
You got an 84.
I got an 84.
Nice. How much of that did you rewrite?
Not much.
What was?
It was pretty solid. I just changed some of the dialogue. I
Yeah.
added little tidbits here and there.
What was-
his biggest problem was like you wrote the first 6 minutes of a movie as opposed to a 6-minute movie.
No, who says that was the first 6 minutes?
I'm just letting you
Who
know.
the hell says-
I argued with him over it. I was like, no, it ends with them dashing off to the danger.
that
And he was
could-
like,
that could be the end.
no, that's
That could be in the middle.
because his whole
he's coming in on fire. The guy's shooting down on fire, meaning he's coming from something else.
Well, I rewrote that.
Oh, you took that out. See,
See, I didn't. That wasn't clear to me on the first reread. He wasn't on fire. I didn't catch
yeah,
that.
because I said like it was
The smoke coming up.
Yeah, it was
right,
like,
right.
like
well,
the-
I started
like
it
him,
with
like,
him like
coming down.
waking up and doing the gym routine and the whole
yeah,
foreshadowing.
You added a gym routine.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. No wonder why you got an 84. A gym routine.
Yeah.
That scene. Did you leave the lines in it?
Yeah. No. I beefed up the lines.
Did we read that on an episode?
We recorded it. We didn't put it on it. It was a separate track.
You know what we should do? I want to do like I want to do. Maybe we should do this. You want to try? How many characters are in your assignment now?
Quite a bit actually. I have
Really? That many in 30 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes, 19 with a cover page.
Wait, 19 minutes and how many characters? We just guesstimate.
Just guesstimate, maybe 6 or 7.
What?
Yeah,
Well, you have people dying,
yeah,
so you need people.
yeah. Like Charlie's
Okay.
the mascot.
Uh,
He's in like
we could do
2
6
frames.
or 7. We should.
There's 3 players, 4 players
What-
that are active.
What? Just tell me what you think. Should we have some fun with this format, with this show that we're like so dedicated on producing? Should we do a drama? Should we dramatize that between 2 people
Well, you try. I could work on a couple voices to change it up a bit.
and just kind of sit down and read through it and maybe add sound effects and make it like a radio,
Oh yeah, we could
like
definitely
a
do
Dream
that.
Warrior special edition, maybe episode 20. Oh, so and let me tell you my thoughts on Dream Warriors 25, since we're kind of, I mean, we might be at 25 next week.
Okay.
Okay. Next weekend's going to be tough because we're doing St. Patty's Day.
I have Monster Mania next weekend.
Oh crap.
You told me St. Patty's Day was the 17th,
Yeah.
so I assumed that's when we were doing everything that weekend.
Wait, what's next weekend?
Next weekend's the 10th.
Oh, okay. So we still have this. Let me figure out what's happening in the city for St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep me
It's
posted.
so we're here. In
Either
Phil-
way, next weekend I'm gonna be drunk from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah,
So,
so-
it's gonna be rough for Norm.
So here's the thing. Episode 25. I was thinking of having everyone here. Heather, Mark, me, you, and we kind of have like a full Dream Warriors family podcast.
Sounds good.
Okay, and I will have to like get more mics. I might be away with the cranes. Okay, we might just have microphone stands.
That works.
Okay.
I kind of like that better
And,
anyway.
and there's a couple reasons for that. I might want to just do a run to see if the sound is well, like you know.
No, I mean, there's a lot that goes with it. Like, you bump the table, this fidgets, it makes a
Yeah.
lot of, whereas something that's just standard baseline, unless you knock it over like it's smack dance.
I think it all can make sound. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
I mean, my chair's making sound now because of my belt and it's uncomfortable.
Stop moving.
Get better freaking chairs, man.
No, these are red acrylic chairs.
Yeah, acrylic is not
so
comfortable.
Tough. They're so.
Yeah, it's tough, all right. It's like sitting in a concrete alleyway.
They're so tough to replace. These chairs are beautiful. I'm sorry.
They're gorgeous, uncomfortable works of goddamn art.
Beautiful chairs. Okay.
Getting stabbed in the back.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we had 4 mic stands, it would be better for us to interact, like sitting in 4 seats,
right?
Because we don't have the.
The only other thing we could do is swing these both into the middle, and hopefully everyone's projecting correctly.
Well, I think we would be fine, but I'm going to work towards if I have to hold off just to figure out some of the logistics. But if I have to hold off on episode 25 for a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean maybe 4 days max. Right. Okay? Because we did another, I think, 5 episodes in 1 month. Right. Where I traveled. Okay? And the planning going into that and exiting that kind of did line up. And I had a spell of being under the weather, too. Right. For that 1 week. Where on you, I completely disappeared. Because I had... It was like... a freaking whirlwind. Like you were calling me and texting me. I had too many things not to respond to. It was just lost. But anyway, I was thinking Dream Warriors 25, and I'm kind of for, like I still want Currents here. I definitely want Currents here. So if I'm gearing up another microphone for him or for like 25, we have an extra mic for him. Gotcha. Okay. When Sean did his episode with Heather, I don't know if you listened to that. He came in fine.
I haven't got to it yet.
Yeah, like he came in fine. But I just think he has more of a radio voice. Like he's used to talking on the radio. His voice has more like bass. He's almost like a baritone. Okay.
I have no idea, but okay.
Yeah, baritone is it's the.
I know alto.
Yeah.
I know cappetto.
Yeah, but so he came in fine. Do I think everyone could? No. Like, okay. Because I treat what he does and what my sister does very differently because they are professionals. Right. So, like, there's just stuff that they do subconsciously that you and I are just trying to build up to.
More or less. I try not to say I try. I'm sure a couple slip by me, but
I think the more you listen to it, I think it's
well,
fine.
for me, it's my school videos. It's when I listen to these professors that are supposed to be trying to like speak to me and teach me, and their recordings are so shoddily and shittily done that it's like
I'll tell you,
I record better than you. And it's not even my job.
Exactly.
And I know I don't say
that should be your
paperwork turn. Like that is what I measure.
Oh yeah, the paperwork is the worst. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's but that's the way you should be with everything.
That is.
It just because you're not getting paid to do something doesn't mean you should not try and do it to the highest caliber.
Well, the difference is when I'm doing timestamps for this, I'm more listening for the topic changes, whereas when I'm sitting for the school stuff, I'm paying attention to what they're actually. So I got it's all about where the focus is between the two.
But so we'll build towards a 25. Is there anything you wanted to add before we jump ship?
No, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah,
hit all the notes.
Yeah, I think
unless we start a whole new episode and topic, we're
well, we can. Well, what any ideas on what you want to talk about, like next topics, next episodes?
Are we ever gonna get to that stack I brought you?
We are, but now we're hitting summer. Yeah, we're hitting. This stack is being teased for quite the while. Yeah, I'm kind of down to 2.
Good, let's get them done.
Oh wait, and demons.
Okay.
Demons. Right. I'm pretty sure demons.
Yeah, I'm starting to itch for a rewatch on that one. So
okay. Chop. Yeah. So no, I will. Yeah, so are we going to... Did you want to try and talk about Kong, too?
I mean, we could...
when does Kong come out? Is that next week?
Yeah, it's Thursday. I'm going to see it Thursday.
So this Thursday.
Yeah. It comes out the 10th. They're going to do those Thursday night 9 and midnight shows. The rest of the weekend, I'm shut. It's literally just... I have nothing else to do Thursday night. This movie looks pretty
I
good.
got nothing else to do Thursday.
Well, Friday's just waking up and getting ready
Yeah.
for the show. It's grabbing my beer, loading up the cooler, tapping Mac,
Yeah.
getting to the hotel to have a parking spot, and
Yeah. And then
stalking out the Stranger Things kids.
Monster Mania is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
Right.
I will definitely be there Friday and Saturday. Sunday is tentative.
How many shows a year is that? Is that 2 shows a year?
They do 3.
They do
2
3.
in Cherry Hill. It's always March, August, and then September's in Maryland.
Jeez. And then your highlight for this year is Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, I got a my band box came with a Jason mask the last month, which is already signed by
That
Ari
was
Lehman.
such a crappy mask.
I wasn't happy with the blood. I was disappointed. I would have rather had one of the black or gold ones.
Send it the F back.
Well, I'm gonna get them all signed up by everybody, and then I'm just put it on eBay.
Why not?
So.
Why not just buy like a real hockey mask and get everyone to sign it?
Because that's not Jason, man. I'll run around with Mad Dogs from friggin' Arrow at that point.
But you can get like a decent Jason replica mask, right? Like how?
Well, this one's already started. They're probably cheap as shit. It's a plastic mask.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you're going to like the people that make Freddy's gloves actually make Freddy's gloves, which they do exist. I have their business card, but
yeah. So look, right here on Amazon, I'm looking up Jason Voorhees mask. Look, here's one signed by 4 for $200.
yeah, mine will be
Dude.
signed by 5.
Dude, you can buy one for $9 with the.
I already have
with,
one though.
With
the money's already been spent on
Yeah.
it. That's
that.
now I'm spending more money.
The,
I wouldn't even get the Jasons if I didn't have this mask. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah.
I'd load up a Thing poster, which was my intention until I found out the one son of a bitch from the Thing that I wanted to meet is dead. The redhead guy from Dune.
Okay.
His head pops off and crawls away. Like that main monster scene. I kept trying to find him in the lineup, and then I was like, oh, he died in 94.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, that's kind of...
Screw me, right?
Yeah, screw me.
Why the hell do I want to meet Wilford Brimley now? Like, what's that guy ever done for me?
But no.
Diabetes commercials?
But no, I just feel like... Like, I don't know. I'm debating. So, Monster Mania is next weekend.
Yes.
How much is it to get in?
Let me consult the old...
20, what, $40, $20?
30, I feel like.
30, okay.
30 at the door.
Well, it's all right. It's just roundabout. And then what time do you recommend people get there?
It depends on the day. Friday, I get there around 3 because I get a pre-show pass, so I get in at 4. It opens at 5.
Okay.
If you get there between 4 and 5, you're parking like a mile down the road.
Yeah.
And that's out, like, I leave my car there, and I have Kearns take me home.
Is there good dealers there?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my regulars. My buddy Joel will be there. I'm super excited to grab some drinks with him.
Cool.
It's been since August.
Yeah.
I don't get to see that guy often.
Why? Is he a private, or does he own a shop?
No, he does a lot of the Scream Factory DVD covers now.
Oh, okay.
And he does a lot of the
what's
con
he,
artwork.
Like an artist?
Yes.
He's an artist. His
He's
name's Joel?
Yeah, Joel Robinson. He did the poster for the one we're going to at the end of the month with all the heads in the jars.
Okay.
And John Wooders, like that's all him.
Cool.
Serpent in the Rainbow Blu-ray cover he did. He does tons of stuff. I love his work. Tickets.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I was just kind of.
Well, each day it varies. That's why I want to, for anyone that's listening.
Oh, okay.
You guys are D-bags. Weekend pass is $60 at the door.
60.
A weekend pass. That's for all 3 days.
Oh, for all 3. Okay.
So Friday pass is $30 at the door. Saturday's $30 at the door. Sunday's $20. So
okay, not too.
Sunday's
terrible.
a shorter day. It goes from like 11 to 5 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's not really.
Okay.
So Stranger Kids things are there Saturday.
How much
and
do
Sunday.
you think? Maybe hopefully Rachel's not listening. Just to see how much do you think you'll spend in total? Like how much?
I give myself an allowance of like usually I try and stay at or under 400.
Wow.
That's for autographs, merchandise, and food.
Yeah,
for the entire weekend.
Yeah. So how many times do you think you're going to eat while you're there? Once?
No, usually because we're drinking all day.
Yeah.
Like from wake up to sundown.
Is Kearns doing this with you?
Yeah.
What's he like?
He gets fries. He eats the fries. Yeah. I get the chicken fingers and fries.
Was he like? Was he trying to?
He gets a lot of art. He gets posters for the walls. Sometimes he gets DVDs, but he's more picky about his DVDs.
He's living at home with his parents.
Yes.
He should be way out of wall space by now.
Well, he rotates. All that would be gone every 3 months, and new ones would be up.
Okay.
That's the way that functions.
That's a hobby. Good for Kearns. Okay.
I do the same shit, so
yeah.
I'm tired of looking at this. It's time to put some new blood on the walls.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, once it's up, I'm done with it.
Well, like, my ceilings aren't 12 feet tall like yours, so it doesn't take...
These are 22 down to 18. 18's towards the window. 22 is up towards us.
Well, it don't take me a folding ladder to get to the top of my shit to change it out.
Gotta get a 20-foot ladder if you're gonna hang shiz up in here.
Yeah.
But no. All right. Well, let's get going. We'll try and decide on a little bit of a roundabout topic for next time. Maybe we'll do the horror episode. Maybe we'll try that. We'll try and do the horror movies and then do Monster Mania.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that would be our second. Maybe we should do a Monster Mania centric episode. Like, I don't care if it gets a lot of views, listens, and downloads, but we did one before.
Right. Our first episode, we talked about Monster Mania and Disney.
I think our second.
It was first five. It was before.
It might have been our
5.
second, but either way, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
like
we can always come back to it.
So maybe while you're there throughout your days, maybe take some notes or write down things.
I'll do you one better. When I come here, I'll leave all my merch in the car.
Okay.
And we can go through everything,
or
the autographs.
Well, not just the merchandise, but kind of like what the show's like and what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And things that, like, kind of like a man on the scene type thing. But all right, well, we'll sign off and we'll say goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Peter, say goodbye.